Dear students, we have started the new chapter, the age of industrialization. Today we are going to start the topic, the pace of industrial change. The pace of industrial change. How rapid was the process of industrialization? Does industrialization means only the growth of factory industries? We are going to see what was the pace of industrial change during that time. First, the most dynamic industry in Britain was clearly cotton and metals. Cotton was the leading sector in the first phase of industrialization up to 1840. After that, iron and steel industry led the way. With the expansion of railways in England from the 1840s and the colonies from the 1860s, the demand for iron and steel increased rapidly. Then second we have is new industries could not be easily displace traditional industries. Less than 20% total workforce was employed in technologically advanced industrial sector. Textile was a dynamic sector, but large portion of the output was produced not within the factories but outside within domestic unit. Then we have third, the pace of change in traditional industries was not set by steam power, cotton or metal industries. Especially for the small sectors like food processing, building, pottery, glasswork, tanning, furniture making and production of implement, the basically small innovations were the basis of growth of many non-mechanized sectors. Then we have fourth, technological changes occurred slowly. The new technology was expensive and merchants and industrialists were cautious about using it. So, in a way we can say the pace was not fast, it was gradually slow. Let us take a case of steam engine. Steam engine, which was produced by Newcomen, which was improved and patented by James Watt in 1781. They could not find a buyer. By the early 19th century, only 321 steam engines were there in England, out of which 80 were used in cotton industries, 9 in woolen industries and rest in mining, canal works and iron works. In the mid-19th century, workers were not machine operators but traditional craftsperson and labourers. Now comes hand labour and steam power. In Victorian Britain, there was no shortage of human labour. Poor peasants moved to cities in large numbers in search of jobs waiting for work. Industrialists, they do not have any problem of labor, and at the same time demand for labor was in some industries where demand for labor was seasonal. Gaswork and brewers were especially busy through the cold month, but the workers in the other months they were not having any work. The range of product could be produced only with the hand laborer. For products with intricate designs and specific human skills were required, and not the machine technology. Many industries were seasonal where production fluctuated with the season. Hence, industrialists usually prefer hand labor, employing workers for the season. Handmade products were better finished, individually produced and carefully designed. In Victorian Britain, the upper class, the aristocrats and the bourgeois preferred things produced by hand. Handmade products came to be the symbol of refinedness and class. In countries with labor shortage, industries were keen on using mechanical power so that the need of human labor can be minimized. Life of the workers. The abundance of labor in the market affected the lives of workers. A news of possible job traveled to the countryside. Hundreds went to the cities. The actual possibility of getting job depended on existing network of friendship and kin relationship. Many job seekers, they had to wait weeks, spending nights under bridges or in night shelters. Some stayed in night refuges that were set up by private individuals. Seasonality of work in many industries meant prolonged period without work. After the busy season was over, the poor were on the streets again. Some returned to the countryside after the winter, where demand for labor in the rural area opened up in places. Wages increased somewhat in the early 19th century, but they tell us little about the welfare of the workers. The average figure hides the variations between traders and the fluctuation from year to year. Then increase in wages did little good as during prolonged Napoleonic War. The same wages of the workers could buy little goods due to price rise. Till the mid-19th century, about 10% of the urban population was extremely poor. Poor workers were forced to live in slums. Then we have spinning jenny. Spinning jenny was introduced in the woolen industry. It was devised by James Hargreaves in 1764 and this machine speed up the spinning process and reduce labor demand. By turning one single wheel, a worker could set in motion a number of spindles and spin several threads at the same time. The fear of unemployment made workers hostile to the introduction of this new technology. When spinning jenny was introduced in the woolen industry, women who survived on hand spinning began attacking the new machines. This conflict over the introduction of jenny continued for a long time, as women thought this machine was taking away employment, as that was only the source of livelihood. Only after 1840, the situation changed where the workers started getting work, especially in the building activities that intensified in the cities, opening of greater opportunities of employment. Roads were widened, new railway stations came up, railway lines were extended, tunnels dug, drainage and sewers laid, rivers embanked. The number of workers employed in transportation industry doubled in 1840s and doubled again in the subsequent 30 years. That's all for today, students. In the next segment, we are going to start with industrialization colonies. As you know, our country was a colony, and how the industrialization spread in our country and what were the factors that led to the increase in industries in our country.